Muziki na popa, maisha ni ya ghetto, msaliti ni petrol, sharia muna kwao, wazimu pia na hao, furazi mfano, ukabila ni kwao, alikuwa shabika, ukweli na hakika, kadiri na shika, furaha kwa hakiki, kwa mashabiki, maji kumziki, live na fiki, fit na ziki, muda wiki, spin na mziki, split ni mukiki, unakuta ziki, kama tuni mkulisi, saluti mala sili, filmi.
Don't you know, we're talking about a revolution song. Don't you know, talking about a revolution song. Don't you know, we're talking about a revolution song. Don't you know, talking about a revolution song.
Awards mezani, awardat, already kamethali, kamecheka, uko kwa table, champagne, pombe mezani, mambuske jani, pass me puff, then ongeza majani, kwani kuna mtu atani, hey, alidani, wako hadi maututi, hadi hatari, check beat kasu, ndo mandari, atleta from far, wanalamba vidole, ni freak so sweet, then piga vidonge, high five, why lie?
Don't you know, talking about a revolution song. Don't you know, we're talking about a revolution song. Don't you know, talking about a revolution song. Tonight, we wanna have the time of our life. We're people all over the world.
See, they say that Angel Snap Nut 7 don't care about the people. But Angel Snap Nut 7 cares about the people because I'm bold enough to tell you the truth, and I don't give a damn if you give me a dime. I'm not looking for your money. Black people, it's all about the unity, the nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody.
We are in a state of emergency. Prejudice. Wrote a song about it? Like to hear? Here it go. Free your mind.
Just keep it going.
Hey, Angel Snub 7. What's going on? Oh man, y'all go over there and subscribe to our brother Angel Snub 7. This man has overcome some stuff that I don't think the average individual could overcome and fight their way out of. You're a true warrior. I got a lot of respect for you. I know you done been through a lot of stuff on YouTube, but these people could not walk in your shoes and come out. They couldn't. Angel Snub 7, y'all. Make sure y'all go subscribe to his channel. I'm telling y'all, this man is like a real warrior. Like, he's a fighter. The real kind. Not the one that just be talking and running their mouth. The one that really fights and keeps going and going and going. Even when even when the chips are down. You got people that get up, dust their stuff off, and keep going. That's what Angel Snub 7 does.
In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of what we call the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the gatekeeper or the host of this program, known here on social media. Wherever you may find me, I am known as the mighty Angel Snub 7. I am your soul brother, number one. Many of us are familiar with musical superstars, and two of these superstars I would like to use as an analogy or as an example to support this commentary. And the two superstars who went through similar circumstance, our brother, we know him as Michael Joe Jackson, who parted this life 2009, and our soul sister, Whitney Houston, I believe she parted this life in 2012. Superstars, icons, two of the greatest that ever done it. Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston. However, in the 1980s, we may not believe, but there was a time Michael Jackson, who has been in the business since 1968, 1969, with number one hits with his brothers, sold millions of records, known all over the world. His family called the first family of Black America, the Jackson Five. But in the 80s, late 70s, there was a time, and Michael said there was something that he wanted to do. There was magazine covers that he wanted to appear on. And the people told them, we don't do black artists because they don't sell magazines. I'm Michael Jackson. I don't care who you are. We're not going to put your Negro face on our magazine because they don't sell. Black artists, y'all got y'all magazines. You know, stick with that, son. This hurt Michael deeply. And you would think, being in his position, that he would get treated differently from me or you. This is Michael Jackson, but it goes to show it don't make no difference really who we are in the world because of our dark skin, because of whom we are, soul brothers and sisters. It don't make no difference in this society. We always have to work 10 times greater than the average Caucasian or any other person in this country. We have to be extraordinary. So this hurt Michael. it made him real upset, according to what I read and heard on music, these social media videos. And Michael made a promise to himself. One day, you're not going to ignore me. So in November of 1982, Thriller, which would become the greatest selling music album ever, was released in November of 1982. And it was climbing the charts. And the single called Billie Jean was hot. And so MTV was growing and MTV was hot. But as you know, MTV at that time was basically a hard metal rock and roll type format. They did not play R&B artists. They did not play soul brothers and sisters on MTV. But music videos was becoming a popular genre. And so Michael Jackson, of course, they approached MTV and they, no, we don't do that. We don't play R&B artists. We don't play that type of stuff. We don't do that. But Michael's record label told MTV, if you don't play this man's record, then you're not going to play our artists. And Epic Records had a good majority of artists on MTV, and they did not want to lose those artists. And so because of that type of pressure, okay, we know it's not going to last long or whatever. Give us the Billie Jean video, whatever, and we'll play that. And the rest is history. And actually Michael Jackson, Billie Jean, Michael Jackson, Thriller, Beat It, saved MTV. The same music that they did not want to play actually saved MTV from going out of business, going bankrupt, going to nothing. But it had to get to the point where they didn't have no choice. You're going to recognize me whether you like it or not. And so for myself, and I watched this, being part of this time period, there was always something dedicated to Michael Jackson. MTV always played Michael Jackson videos until they stopped playing videos, period. Whitney Houston had the same problem. They didn't want to play this young black lady, pop singer, whatever she is. Even though she was selling records, even though she was, we don't do that type of. Whitney Houston had to go through the same thing, and Whitney said, I'm going to show you. But in both of these examples, the artist had to get to the point where they had no choice. So we saw Michael very, very successful. We saw Whitney very, very successful, but we don't see the business side. We don't see where they was rejected. But as soon as they got the opportunity, as soon as the wall began to fall down, just a little taste, they had no choice but to recognize. What is it that we say in the black community? you better recognize. So Michael made them recognize. Whitney made them recognize. They didn't have no choice, whether you like it or not. And then when the wall comes down, then they kissing your backside. Kissing the backside of Michael Jackson. Kissing the backside of Whitney Houston. Yes, sir, massa. To Michael. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. To Whitney. When the trumpet start playing and the walls of Jericho come falling down. So what am I saying this for? I'm saying that we have been blessed. I am saying that it has been revealed to us, the soul brother, the soul sister in this country. That's a wonderful thing for individuals in music. But it's even better if we use the same mindset in bringing to ourselves true freedom, justice, and equality. You gonna recognize me whether you like it or not. So this idea that we bring from this platform that we call soul power, which comes from us. It comes from our soul. It comes from our heart. It comes from our essence. We don't get it from nobody in China or nobody in Ethiopia or the Congo or elsewhere. It is us. Just like Michael Jackson was influenced by James Brown, Jackie Wilson, and many others. Just like Whitney Houston was influenced. But I am Whitney Houston. I am Michael Jackson. And they became greater than the artists that influenced them. Woo! You got to understand something here. Being myself. Able to go where those who influenced me could not go. So we are influenced. And we stand on the shoulders of Dr. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad, Louis Farrakhan, Jesse Jackson, Huey P. Newton, and the list goes on, and Harriet Tubman, Shirley Chisholm. We stand on the shoulders of greatness. But this is our time. We have to do what we have to do like they done what they done. And we can go where they could not go. It was not meant for them to go. So Michael went places and could do things those who influenced him they could not touch, as well as Whitney Houston. Being themselves, because that's who they are in their time. And I'm saying in their time, with the mindset of a soul power, when you begin to understand what we present here, that mindset crashes the door. And you will get the respect. And you will go places where we've never been before. And they have no choice but to recognize. You better recognize whether they like it or not. This is your time. This is your door. Where is the place that we want to go? We want to go and establish true freedom, justice, and equality, not only for ourselves, but be examples to the world where humanity needs to go and how humanity is supposed to be so that we can reach our fullest potential. You can't follow these other people who have been around for hundreds and thousands of years. If it was up to them to bring humanity to our fullest potential, we would be there. But we're struggling because it was not meant for them. It was not meant for them to win a Grammy. It was not meant for them to go all over the earth and be idolized. Even to the point, Michael Jackson, even to the point, it is even said that Michael Jackson, next to Jesus, the most recognized person in the world, this is your and my destiny. This is who we are. With the proper tools, with the proper guidance, the proper mindset to crash the wall, to knock down this door. And when you really truly begin to come into your own, you think that you have adopted yourself. You think that you have come into your own. But if you have, then why aren't the door? Why is it when you blow the trumpet, the walls of Jericho don't fall down? Because you're not being yourself. You're trying to be an impersonator. There's a difference being influenced by somebody and impersonating that person. Michael Jackson became Michael Jackson. Whitney Houston became Whitney Houston. They wasn't impersonating nobody. They was just being themselves. You trying to be an African. You trying to be some type of Hebrew. You trying to be a Moor. You trying to be Nuwabi. You trying to be all these things that's not you. Instead of just learning and understanding who you are. Because clearly, those things have not opened no doors for you. You sold a few records, but you don't have no Grammy. You ain't gone nowhere. You just an average Joe on the circuit. Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston became more than superstars, megastars, out of this world. A personality, a talent that you might see once in who knows how many generations. This is the soul brother. This is the soul sister in this country. This is the position and your potential if you come up out of the mindset that keeps you trapped in a place where you should be trying to escape. So that you can go to the MTV of this earth and you gonna play me. And when they give you that little bit of light, that little bit of opportunity, watch what you do. But you can't do it with the mindset that you have right now. You have to be different. You have to come into your own. Be yourself. And yourself is not a righteous Muslim. That's them people. And what has it done for them? All these things that we adopt. Look at the people that you're trying to be like. It has done nothing for them. They need guidance. They need an example. You and I are this Christ to come into this world to be their example. But you can't be Christ-like in your current mindset and in your poor understanding of what Christ-like is in reality. They're waiting on you. They're waiting on us. But we can't become what they're waiting for, trying to be them. We have to accept our own and be ourselves. Soul power forever. As the Muslims say, take it or let it alone. You do it and understand this mindset of soul power. And the only thing you can tell them, you better recognize
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. Hey, can you hear me? Brother Angel, can you hear me? All
Yeah,
right.
we're in
Yes.
business.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for letting me join you today on this live simultaneous podcast. Um. Okay. Okay. First of all, before I go any further, to our notable fellow people of soul who we just lost in the struggle of life. Um, Once I say their name, I just want us to take a one moment of a silence. And I'm gonna go on ahead and say their names. Sister Angie Stone, who is a neo soul music artist. Um, and Dwayne Wiggins, who was a member of the R&B group from the 90s, whose music I still listen to today, Tony Tone, and the legendary elder Jerry Butler, who was also a former member of the 1960s old soul group called The Impressions, who also had great musician Curtis Mayfield as a member of that group, just passed away, and also who did we just lose? Soul sister Roberta Flack, another ancestor, has passed on. So I just wanted, and also another brother who was also a legendary jazz artist, who y'all may remember for his funk style of jazz from the 70s, named Roy Ayers, has passed away. And so, rest in peace to all these brothers and sisters of soul. And let's take a moment. And now that we've taken a moment to remember them, I would go on to say that, with all this chaos going on right now here in this country and throughout the world, but specifically here in America, because I'm not living in any other country, so I can't really speak about what's going on outside of America. Other than that, they have, increased tensions with people that's right on the border with us, such as Canada and Mexico, who are supposed to be our allies, but the United States, because of this current president we have, has made it more harder for us to even work with them as allies because of so-called threats of terror, wars, and all this other stuff, and back and forth, situation with tariffs, which could definitely rip this economy apart and take us even back to the old school 1930s depression, or even worse, that our ancestors knew about almost a century ago during that time. And I like to
Excuse
also
me,
say that.
excuse me. I just want to remind you what the topic is.
Okay, yes, I'm going into that topic. This was about Farrakhan,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
So we want to stick to this topic here because I don't have that much time. I want to deal with this and get out of here for the night.
Okay, but with that said, as far as that goes, and with all this other stuff going on with us as so black people in this country, when you want to talk about the fall of America, which Elijah Muhammad wrote a book about over 50 years ago, well, we might be looking at it, So where's the Nation of Islam now? Where's Farrakhan, man? Since he's always been considered the central figurehead, or the most popular central figurehead of the Nation of Islam, besides these other offshoots of the Nation of Islam, like that's under Silas Muhammad, or that's up under this guy that's been dead for a while named Solomon, who didn't change, whose organization name was changed from the United Nation of Islam to something else. I think it was Bayou Creators, which they go by now. But anyway, where are they at in trying to gather the people that they claim that Master Farad Muhammad came for, to save from the wrath, from his wrath on America? You see, where are they at now? What are they doing to prepare us for the fall of America? What safe haven do they have for us that will prepare us for this fall? That we hear people all around social media talking about, as far as the economy and as far as the country itself as a nation falling. Where are they? I hear guys, people like Eric Muhammad, who get on the rostrum every Sunday and want to quote the nation lessons, but he ain't talking exactly in layman terms about what's actually happening. That's supposed to be related to the teachings that Elijah Muhammad was supposed to warn us about what would come, even in these times that we're in presently. So, where are they? I don't hear them saying nothing. I don't even hear, and we know Louis Farrakhan is not in the best of shape because his own national representative under him, who go by the name of Ishmael Muhammad, that's supposed to be the son, unquote, of Elijah Muhammad, gave a keynote address speech for they say this day in Chicago. Where's the Son of Man at? Who goes by the actual government name of Marvin Muhammad? I see him all the time, every day. His videos popping up live, on YouTube. You know, where are these people at? You know, what are they doing for the masses? Not just for a certain few select people, far as, you know, having land over here, having some land over there, or this other little tiddly bit stuff, you know? What are they doing for the masses of the over 40 million, going on 50 million so-called Negroes in America? What are they doing? Where are they at? I see other subpar organizations in the Black conscious community out in the streets more than I see them out in the streets, trying to galvanize or trying to mobilize in the community. They don't even get out there no more. I heard in some cities they don't even walk around, or nor are they seen uh, selling Final Call Muhammad speech papers. You know, if Muhammad, you know, they say they got brothers down there selling Salam newspapers in Atlanta, but is that even enough? What is the other tangible incentives, real incentives, I mean, you know, for us as a people to you know, survive through what you call the fall of America? I'm not hearing anything. You know, y'all don't have nothing set up, let alone the people in y'all own subpar organizations, you know, that y'all claim to be up under the teachings of Elijah Muhammad. But what are y'all, what do y'all have for the other masses, rest of the masses of the people? Because didn't he say Master Farad Muhammad came for all of us as a group, as a whole, and not just a certain select few, you know, or a handful of people? So wouldn't that include us all as tens of millions in this country if he came for us as the whole? Well, where are y'all at? You know, where are y'all? And that's my thing. Where are y'all? What are y'all doing? You know, other than poverty pimping the community, what are y'all doing? You know, while soul brothers and sisters are out here struggling just to make it from one check to another, not knowing that they gonna lose their jobs. You know, I got people in my family that work for the federal government, and they not certain whether or not they gonna lose their job because of all these federal job government cuts they doing in Washington. You know, so what I mean, what are y'all gonna do? Or y'all just gonna look out for the few that's in y'all these little splendid groups where y'all got these different temples at around the country, or different mosques in the country? I mean, you know, are y'all gonna even look out for each other? Because a lot of times, for years, I've known y'all not to even abandon y'all own members of y'all mosques and temples, and just leave y'all on the side with nothing, just completely out in the cold. I remember years ago, a brother told me, you know, over a private conversation we had, that actually it was a brother who was following Cyrus Muhammad, and he had to sleep at the local airport in Atlanta because them brothers wouldn't do nothing for him. You know, so I mean, what are your you know what are y'all doing even for the members of y'all organization, let alone the rest of the masses of our people that y'all say y'all come to save or help to deliver from Allah's wrath that's supposed to be coming upon America. You see, so that's where I'm at with that at this point. You know, as a matter of fact, y'all shouldn't even be on social media or behind some rostrum telling our people what they need to do, and y'all not, bringing the receipts to prove that y'all got anything for them, or that y'all got a solution for them, as y'all claim according to the teaching that you say you follow. And a lot of you are, practicing hypocrisy even on that level, as far as the teachings y'all say y'all claim to follow. So y'all need not even get out here and tell our people what they need to do. And y'all not doing the damn thing for them, and that's clearly and vividly my position on that, you know. And I'm at the point right now where, I don't care how our people got to survive, because if you don't have a place set up for them where they can come and actually, further elevate themselves as a nation of people who will be independent of others, since that's what y'all teach, then y'all shouldn't even be behind the roster telling them what to do, or on no other kind of platform telling them what to do. Because this is where we are at now, as a nation in general, and as particularly a group of people who are the most marginalized in this nation. So I mean, it's like I don't even need to hear that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people at this point in time who's tired of y'all rhetoric don't want to hear that, because it's just nothing but a bunch of regurgitation of some 100-year-old teaching from the 1920s or 30s, that's not even practical today, which is outdated, That's why y'all don't get no major high number of views, because people see that's going nowhere. That's why people got to struggle and survive the best way they know how. Matter of fact, you can't even knock the ones or criticize the ones that's out there caught up in the criminal element of things, because you have no place for them to channel from that way of life or from that type of lifestyle. You see? So, I mean, it's like, I remember when in the 60s, I believe, and as well as in my era, like the 80s and 90s, where it was a lot of former Bloods and Crips and gangster disciples and vice lords who joined the Nation of Islam. And many of them primarily up under Louis Farrakhan's leadership, or that in the prison and joined his organization. But now, you don't even see them. I don't think there's even too many of them joining his organization, because they saw the hypocrisy. They saw it was going nowhere. especially when they went through a bunch of, you know, mess, wasting their time and efforts trying to make a difference in the community. And some of these brothers and sisters even probably went back to the old ways of the life that they were caught up in as far as the criminal world is concerned, you know? So, you don't have no incentive or anything, nothing to protect our people from what's to come. Because the way things is looking in this nation right now, you know, we should be in a situation where we should be able to depend on each other completely as a whole, not just a few here and a few here or a few over there, and this and that and the other in the third, you know. So my thing is like, you know, what are you doing? You know, you're not doing nothing but, you know, our elderly is not protected. First of all, our children is not protected. And any time in our communities, you got young people in their 20s or 30s committing rape assaults on elderly people who are 80 or 60 some years old. That just shows where you are as an organization, because you should have had a lot of stuff in place to even prevent that type of stuff from happening. You see, now you got these other different subpar groups out here that's struggling to try to do something about that when they don't got that much support. But you were in a position to where they wouldn't have needed that support, because we all would have been working together to a certain point, cohesively, as one, to make sure that our elderly is protected, to make sure that our women and children are protected, to make sure that we are protected even as brothers. You see? But, you know, you failed. You dropped the ball. And now you want people to still pay attention to what you got to say. You know? So I would recommend that any, you know, soul brother or sister living in this nation, you know, not even subscribe to them teachings. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but I'm just suggesting. The teachings with the Nation of Islam are nothing to, you know, it's not going to get you nowhere. It's just going to, you know, have you running on blank promises, you know, and no action to come with it. And this has been going on with them for almost the past 100 years. And even when they were at their highest peak as an organization, they weren't as successful, because you didn't have the whole, mainly you didn't have the masses behind them, like you had behind the civil rights movement and people like Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks, who were fighting to try to make a difference for us as a people in this country. A big far cry difference from the civil rights movement. So y'all did not have that massive type of support like they did in the civil rights movement. And it's even worse than now that you don't. And I want to also say something before I pass the mic on to Brother Angel Snuff 7, is that, you know, Louis Farrakhan lost his credibility to the brothers and sisters in the streets long ago after he had betrayed the late Khalid Muhammad, you know. And so by that point, he even made it worse for even people like us from Operation Exodus, Mississippi, to reach them kind of people in the streets because they saw the fakery. And so anytime now any entity comes to them or try to reach them, you know, with the ideal of helping to uplift us as a people and to help us gain our liberation, they don't want to hear it because of people like Louis Farrakhan who betrayed that trust. And with that said, I'm going to pass the mic to our brother Angel Slump 7 if he got anything to say for now. And thanks for listening to your brother Talib. I haven't been speaking on here for a long time, but I just wanted to chime in and touch on this subject because things are at hand right now where this subject needed to be touched up on. And with that said, I pass the mic on to the brother.
Well, peace and respect you to Brother Talib for bringing us this subject tonight. It's a topic that I really wasn't going to say anything about, really. I just going to hold back. I didn't really want to say anything. But when you reached out, if you need me to speak more, just let me know. But I just wanted, since you are, the host of this panel, out of respect, I want to, to see if you had anything to say, or else I could keep going. Yeah, well, I want to say, I wasn't going to say anything at all about the recent events, but when you brought the topic up, I think because of my background in the Nation of Islam, because I actually was a member under Louis Farrakhan, that many people probably would be interested in my view on the current events. I want to begin like this. When you critique people, what I call constructive criticism, and some folks don't like what you have to say, they call you a hater and you're jealous and whatnot. I've never been jealous or a hater of anybody or anything in all my life, because I can accept who and what I am. I don't have to strive to be like nobody else. If you have 2 apples, I'm happy with my 1 apple. Maybe one day I'll get 2 apples. That's have always been my thinking process. You can wear Jordan basketball shoes, and I just have Nike or some generic brand. Doesn't bother me at all, even though my cheap shoes would tear up real quick compared to the Jordans. There was a young girl that I really, really liked when I was a boy. And I never did get that girl. But I never was jealous of her boyfriend, the one who was able to hold her hand and kiss her and hold her or whatever. He was a basketball player. I did not go to the basketball games and sit in the bleachers, and when he get the ball in his hand, boo! Hope you miss, boo! Because I'm jealous and a hater because he got the girl that I like. She just wasn't meant for me. I accept those things. I wasn't jealous of the next door neighbor who had a brand new car and I had a rust bucket, because I've never been materialistic, and I can accept whatever has been put on my plate. I've never been like that. So during my time on YouTube, when I come here and speak about my experience in the Nation of Islam, people say, oh, you saying that because you a hater and you jealous. What kind of hater actually spend their time and their money? And I did that even after I left the Nation of Islam. How can I hate the Nation of Islam? How can I be jealous of the Nation of Islam when that's what I have been almost all my life? As a little boy, I always wanted to be part. I always was influenced by the Nation of Islam. My relatives, who I love in the Nation of Islam, I still know brothers, part of the Nation of Islam. But that does not negate my personal experience. It does not negate after I went through my revelation to begin to see certain things in those teachings that should be analyzed. Has nothing to do with being jealous or a hater. We have the right to analyze. We have a right to question all things. When somebody don't want you to question or analyze or examine them, that should be a red flag. That should open your mind. Something here is wrong. What you trying to hide? You can't tell me about my experience like we have experience in relationships. Your relationship with a woman could be bad, but I get the same woman and we live happily ever after. But that was your experience. In your experience, it was bad. My experience, it was very good. Same thing with job. Oh, you hear this all the time. Oh, don't go work there. That's a bad place to work. They do this, they do that. It was bad for you. And another person go and they retire. So our experiences and things is different. But whatever that experience is, we have the right to tell that and speak about that. And sometimes the problem is the person. In a lot of these relationships, the problem is you. It's not the woman, it's not the man. The problem have always been you. And we don't like to look at you. We like to talk and about ourselves like we don't do nothing wrong. The problem, I could have been the problem in the Nation of Islam. And I can say, yes, I was the problem in the Nation of Islam. You know why? Because in order to be in the church, in order to be in the Nation of Islam, in order to belong to a lot of our things that we are embraced, you have to turn a blind eye to what you see. And you have to believe and become loyal even though you know and see something that is wrong. I'm going to believe anyway. And that's not the type of person I am. And that's not what the scriptures teach. The scriptures teach that we should seek truth. But what if that truth is not the truth that you believe in? Now there's a problem. See, that's where the problem comes in. But your scriptures and our religious teachers say that we're supposed to seek truth. We believe in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But what if the Honorable Elijah Muhammad do wrong? What if he do something questionable? We turn a blind eye. Because he can't do no wrong. That's a lie. Because even in our scriptures, We see people and the prophets, they fail. They do wrong, they mess up. So why Elijah Muhammad can't mess up? There's nobody. Why Louis Farrakhan can't mess up? What was it, the story of Moses? Moses got to the point where he believed that he was doing these miracles on his own, that he had the power. And stopped giving the credit to God. And so, when you look at all the prophets, all of them, to my knowledge, all of them messed up. They had a problem. But for some reason in our mind, these people that we idolize, they could do no wrong. And that's the reason why it's easy to predict the fall, not of America, the fall of the Nation of Islam. Because the Nation of Islam, see, there's a difference between the fall of America and the fall of the Nation of Islam, because the Nation of Islam, it stands on personality. And America does not stand on personality. It stands upon a certain behavior. It does not fall on personality. This is why the government of America understood if you destroy the leadership, the whole body falls. And so what we see in the Nation of Islam right now is the fall. It may not fall and go completely extinct, but it's not going to be what it was when I joined Louis Farrakhan in 1981. The 80s and the early 90s was the best or the height of Louis Farrakhan. That was the height of it all. Louis Farrakhan began to make certain, as Brother Talib said, he began to make certain decisions that was detrimental to his organization, such as the interaction he had with Brother Khalid, which would have been probably the best choice to be a successor after him. I don't know, Brother Talib, are they around the same age? I don't know how old was Brother Khalid?
I think they was like over 10 years apart from each other.
Okay, so
15 years apart from each other.
Okay, so Brother Khalid, I mean, it's not up for me to judge. I mean, if you're looking at the whole situation, the only one out of all I've ever seen in the Nation of Islam, the only one that could really succeed Louis Farrakhan and keep that Nation of Islam where it needed to be was Dr. Khalid. Once he got rid of Dr. Khalid, it's going to be all downhill. And see, the reason for this really is because Louis Farrakhan loves Louis Farrakhan. He don't really want nobody to be almost like him, getting the same kind of shine like him. He don't like that. Even though Khalid wasn't getting that kind of shine, it was like a threat. Because after Khalid left, it's all about Louis Farrakhan. Ain't nobody talking about nobody. It's all about, and that's how he likes it. And that's one of the reasons why I had to leave that organization, because I'm like, this is becoming some kind of cult for this man. I didn't come here for that. I didn't come here to join no cult. That's not what I was about. So it was good that I left. But those are my brothers and sisters. But they don't see you that way. They don't see you as a brother or sister once you leave that organization. But I don't hate on nobody. But this, we predicted a long time ago. Savior's Day 2025, they had it in the mosque. They haven't had a meeting a Savior's Day at the mosque. I don't think they ever had done that before. To my knowledge, it's never been done.
Yes, they have. Yeah, they have.
Have they?
Yeah, I believe in certain.
Okay, because I know the first.
Off and on in the past.
Because I know.
Yeah.
The very first. Well, there was no Mas Mariam in 1981. Okay. Matter of fact, I think it was at a hotel or something like that. Matter of fact, most of the time it's at some type of hotel, some type of place like that. Some type of arena or whatever. They never even had Savior's Day at the Final Call building. They always rented some kind of hotel or some kind of hall or something like that. Because I'm thinking about it, I don't, 1981. Now, once you start getting to the 90s, I lost track. But as far as I know, I've never heard of them having Savior's Day at Mas Mariam itself. There's always been a hotel in Chicago or a hotel in Detroit or somewhere like that. Never been done before. And they didn't even make a big fanfare about it. And still haven't. I'm watching Brother Ben's channel. Brother Ben, as far as I can see, didn't say nothing about Savior's Day 2025. Didn't say nothing about, oh, that was a wonderful speech that Brother Ishmael gave. I don't see no comment from Wesley Muhammad. I don't see no comment from Nuri. None of these people. They're not even supporting their own Savior's Day. I don't see none of it. Just go back last year when Louis Farrakhan spoke. All the 2024 Savior Day videos. And you go here on Google, on YouTube, and look up Savior's Day 2025. Ain't nobody making no big deal about Ishmael and Savior's Day 2025. Nobody. But see, this is something that we talked about a long time ago. Because it's a personality cult. It's a personality cult. And with the personality cult, when the spiritual leader dies, then the whole organization falls apart. See, you don't see that in the Catholic Church either, because it's about a mindset. Who knows how many popes the Catholic Church has had? It's not about, some popes they like better than others, but it's a mindset. But see, with us, it's a personality thing. Oh, he's a good preacher. He sure can speak. Just like T.D. Jakes. T.D. Jakes is sickly. He's an older man. Who's going to take over? Who's going to inherit his church? And chances are when he dies or get too sick to preach, watch, the people start to leave. Because we talk the teachings, but we're not the teachers. We love preachers. We love charisma. We don't care nothing about all those things. So they all falls apart. Brother Talib, you were saying earlier about the nation having a safe haven. They haven't created nothing. You talk about the fall of America. If America's gonna fall, what you gonna do about it? What lifeboat have you gotten together? They don't have nothing. Now, according to the teachings, well, I don't even think it's according to the teachings because I've read much of a lot of it. I don't remember Elijah Muhammad saying the mother plane gonna come out the sky and save all the believers. I don't remember reading that in Message to the Black Man. It does not say what's gonna happen once America. The only thing they talk about the fall of America. They don't talk about what's gonna happen to us. Watch the weather, they say. Watch the weather. When Minister Farrakhan dies, he sits down, the weather gonna get worse and worse. Yeah, but the weather affects everybody. It's gonna affect you too. What you gonna do about it? When tornadoes come, it's gonna blow you away. When the hurricane come and the rains and the flood, it's gonna blow you away too.
I heard my
can't escape nothing.
saying some crap one time about, excuse me, cut you off, but he said some, because I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
He talked about it's a bunch of tornadoes that have always hit around the town, were near around the town where he had in Mississippi, right?
Yeah.
And he said, but not one tornado has ever came toward the town where his establishment, where he's based at, and destroyed anything around his, little organization base. And I want to say in Fayette County, Mississippi, where he's located at. But he said that anytime a tornado has came to that part of Mississippi or near that region where he's at in Mississippi, he said not one time did a tornado touch any of his properties or anywhere he was at, or the city that he's at down there in Mississippi. And I'm like to myself, it just wasn't time for it to happen.
Exactly. Exactly. There's a lot of places that a tornado or whatever has never touched. It's a lot of places, many places. It don't mean it can't happen. But what you gonna do about it? It doesn't mean anything. Tornadoes and this weather has been happening for millions of years. So what? Like I say, if Allah brings a blizzard in the middle of the summer and snow in Donald Trump, now we got some power. Now you don't prove your point. That's not going to happen, though. It's not going to happen. But they believe all this stuff. And see, so even the Quran said, do you think that you shall believe, something to that effect, and you will not be tried? See, all this belief, it's not only the Nation of Islam, all this stuff, Pan-Africanism, all this stuff is ready to get tried. We're gonna see exactly what this stuff is about. All of it. All of it needs to be challenged. All of them need to be tried. All of it need to be shown for the garbage that it really is. Nothing but feel good stuff. Does nothing for you in real life. All of it. Louis Farrakhan has turned the Nation of Islam into a church. My relatives say a Christian church. Because most of my relatives that was part of the Nation of Islam, they up in age now, whatever. And, it's the Grim Reaper is knocking on the door, hanging around, waiting. And they talking about, they was telling me the other day, talking about, they said that Trump is the last president. Trump is the last president. He got 4 years, and Trump gonna bring all this down. He's the last. Trump is America's last president. That's what they saying. And I asked them, that's what Minister Farrakhan said in the 80s when Ronald Reagan was president. He said the same thing. Ronald Wilson Reagan, the Antichrist, 666. And nothing happened. And then what do the scriptures say too? It says no man knows the hour. That's what the Bible said. The Bible said no man knows the hour. And that would be more safe to say than you actually trying to predict something. Because chances are we're going to see a president after Donald Trump if you live. I'm not going to say that America don't fall, because Egypt was greater than America and it fell. Rome was greater than America and it fell. So we're not going to say that America can't fall. But when it's going to fall, and nobody could predict when those nations fell. It happened when it happened. That's something that you can't predict. You don't know. So even the Bible wasn't stupid enough to say, or give a prediction actually, oh, Trump is the last president. Then my relatives say they'll be happy to go to the hereafter. Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teach in the Nation of Islam, when you die, you're dead. That's the end. So they telling me they can't wait to go to the hereafter. I said, that ain't Nation of Islam teaching. You're dead. The hereafter, when he taught the hereafter, it meant hereafter the end of the white man's rule. That's what he mean by the hereafter. In Orthodox Islam, it's the same thing as going to heaven, like in the Christian church. And then if you're a martyr, you get 42 virgins or some crap. I don't know, whatever. That dumb stuff in religion. If you're a ghost and a spirit, what a spirit need 42 virgins for? The whole thing don't make any sense. If you're a spirit, first of all, only the flesh has a gender. When you turn into a spirit, you don't have a penis no more. You left your penis in the grave. Your penis is a ghost now? Ghost penis? I don't. The whole thing don't make any sense to me. That's only good. That's only good for somebody in the physical life, having virgins. If you're a spirit, what do 42 virgins mean? You don't have a penis no more. It don't make any sense to me. But it don't. That's how things go. Things in these, they don't have to make any sense. We supposed to just believe crap and whatever. See, Louis Farrakhan is a narcissist. They said long time ago that he was supposed to be doing more in the background and, letting the younger people take over, Ishmael and whoever, letting them take over. But he can't do that. Ishmael, don't you remember a few years ago, I think it was Savior's Day 2023, one of those Savior's Day, Ishmael actually did the whole thing, and then Farrakhan came behind him and talked like 2 hours or something after Ishmael did Savior's Day. So I know that he's in real bad shape if he can't do Savior's Day. He didn't even come on the stage and sit down. What's up with that? He didn't even come on the stage and sit down. But they said that he made an appearance at the FOI MGT, the little graduation, Chicago graduation class. He did do that on Saturday, but he made no appearance on Sunday. Why you can't come and just sit and listen to Ishmael? So I know he's doing pretty bad because he's a narcissist. If he can't do it, then I ain't gonna do it at all. And I don't see I don't see, like I said, they didn't do no big fanfare. I knew Farrakhan wasn't gonna speak because they didn't even make a flyer and put his face on the flyer. They didn't even put Ishmael's face on the flyer. They just made a flyer, repent and believe in God. I forgot what the topic was. They didn't make no big deal out of it. And when Farrakhan they know that he's actually gone, it's over. That is over. Because like I said, I didn't hear nothing from Brother Ben. None of these people that make YouTube and these Nation of Islam people that make video. And I'm going to tell you this. Going back to what you were saying earlier about they're not prepared for anything. How are you going to be in the Nation of Islam? How are you running this organization and everybody doing different things? You can't get nowhere like that. Everybody has to be, this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to run it.
I'll be back.
Yeah. You cannot do that. All Nation of Islam members should be doing the exact same thing on the same one accord. Everybody got their own individual projects. They're divided, calling themselves united. You divided in your own organization. Everybody doing different things. You can't progress forward doing that. Everybody doing different stuff. But it really makes no difference because it's a personality cult. Like all our thing, all this stuff, Pan-Africanism, the blackity black this, the Hebrew Islam, all of it is nothing but for show, it's entertainment. None of it is real. All of it is Barnum and Bailey. And all of it is gonna fall before America do. People say, I had a person on here say that I pick on Dr. Umar Johnson. I don't pick on Dr. Umar Johnson. Dr. Umar Johnson is a public figure, and he's out here running his mouth. And all public figures, including myself, people can speak about it. So now the controversy with Dr. Umar Johnson, first of all, if he died today or got sick, we know we're not getting an African school. That's over. That's a done deal. That's over. So we know we're not gonna. You ain't gonna get a school anyway, but you damn sure not gonna get a school. Which I heard some people say, I don't care if he never built a school. It's about his information. This goes to show you how sick we are. But the information not doing nothing for you. You can't eat information. Information don't pay your bills. If that information don't help us like that, it don't do nothing. So his controversy, he has a 22-year-old daughter that's calling him out. And instead of trying to contact her behind closed doors, he's trying to defend himself in the public. You have a 22-year-old daughter. You don't have to deal with the mother no more. He's talking about, I paid child support for you and blah, blah, blah. That's over with. You have a daughter that's 22 years old, different mothers. The only thing she want to know, I want to know my sister. Can you help me contact my sister? Because they have different mothers. The same man running around trying to give dating and relationship advice to everybody. Tommy Sotomayor, single father, can't get along with the mother of his children. The late Kevin Samuels, children can't get along with the mother. These folks you're listening to for relationship advice. And you wondering why you're not going anywhere. It's all falling down. You want America to be on trial, but in reality, it's you on trial. And all of you gonna pay for laughing at this Operation Exodus Mississippi campaign. You gonna pay for it. You gonna wish we had went in that direction. I guarantee you it. You're gonna wish. Because all that is entertainment. All that ain't nothing but a cult following. All Dr. Umar Johnson has is cult members. When you listen to what he talks, he's not talking no Pan-Africanism. Go and find out what Pan-Africanism really is. And we talked about that. These are nothing but cults, nothing but churches, and these are the preachers. And once the preacher dies, the cult dies. What we know of as the Nation of Islam, that's over. And all the little offshoots, the only reason why anybody even pay any attention to them also is because of Louis Farrakhan. You won't hear from them no more. Just like you don't really hear from these Hebrew Israelites because they don't have any charismatic personality. But that's all it is. And we want something for nothing. We want something that, some miracle that just somebody just give us something. There's nothing on this planet, no people or nation on this planet where they was given anything. It had to be earned. And we want somebody to give us something. Then you're going to get something, all right. A good swift kick in your backside. All things come to an end. You had an opportunity to do better, don't want to do better. You think everything is a joke. You think everything is funny. You think that what you got is the real thing. Well, let's see. I really doubt if Donald Trump gonna be the last president. But all this stuff that we believe in, we gonna find out what it's made out of. In fact, Louis Farrakhan said that we need Donald Trump to give us hell, to make us do better. But that don't mean nothing. There's a lot of people, they go in bad shape, they get in bad shape. They don't do any better. They get worse. The only way people are going to do better because they want to do better. There's people, just like when you on crack, when you're doing dope. The reason why you get off those drugs is because you want to. Those who don't want to, don't get off. It's simple as that. If you want it, you will do it. If you don't want to do it, then the crack will kill you. The heroin will kill you. The fentanyl will kill you. But those who don't want to die, those who see something different, they can do better in their lives, they will work and they will get off those drugs. If you want to really be free, if you really want real justice, if you really want a better future for your progeny, for our future generation, then you'll work to do better. But if you don't want to do that, then you get what's coming to you. Ain't nobody gonna cry for you because you asked for it. So when they find your body, so David Ruffin, when they find your body on the end of the corner, that's what David Ruffin asked for. So when they found Huey P. Newton in the same kind of condition, that's what they asked for. That was the end result. We don't know what happened to them in their lives that caused them to want drugs and really they committed suicide.
Rick James,
they committed suicide. That's what it is, because you know this stuff can kill you. It's just not fast. It's not like taking a bullet or stabbing yourself in the heart or something. It's a way of committing suicide. And that's what a lot of people do. And really, that's what we as a people have been doing and continue to do. It's just suicide. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing because we shouldn't exist anyway. We are products of slavery. We shouldn't exist anyway. This Negro, this colored person, was made on a slave plantation. We're not natural anyway. So maybe that's a good thing. And it's not even up to me. But we're on our way to extinction anyway. Because all these things that you're doing, you're not taking the actions of a people that want to live. We're taking the actions of people who want to go extinct. We're taking the actions of people that want to die. We're taking the actions of those who have chosen suicide. So pretty soon, nobody gonna talk about Beyonce and Jay-Z. Nobody gonna talk about Michael Jackson. Nobody gonna talk about none of these folks. See, this is what we have to understand. There were people that was like Jay-Z on the planet long before Jay-Z. There was people that was treated like Michael Jackson way before. We don't know nothing about them. And the earth don't give a damn. I don't know why people think that the universe and the earth care about our thing. We don't care nothing. We're nothing. We don't mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. How many of you went to the graveyard? Many of us, we don't go to the graveyards. They don't mean nothing to us no more. Those people are gone. Many of them we never knew. We don't see. We don't even know what they look like. And that's just how life is. We'll be gone. And guess what? Others, if our accomplishments are still around, other people will take, we created the moonwalk. See, look at this dance. We'll be gone. Who's gonna say that the black people in America, we created this and you're gonna be gone. So other people say, oh, look, we created the moonwalk. We created the rap music. Because you'll be gone. And that's where you're headed to right now, to self-extinction. Because that's what you want to do. Because you will know it all. Or Jesus gonna save you. Or the mother plane gonna save you. And you keep talking about America falling. But see, America don't depend on God. America don't depend on the mother plane. America ain't depending on some kind of divinity to help them. Because America know they can only depend on themselves. And their technology, their brain power, and their strength to live. Because it's about living. And the only thing you think about is dying. I can't wait to die to go to heaven. I can't go to the hereafter. You know, you talk life, but really, but the only way you can get life, you got to, in your mindset, you got to die. That's the only way you're going to get any kind of life. Which is a contradiction. So I want to say, it hurts me because I want us to be successful. I don't want us to lose. I want us to be successful. But you can't tell nobody nothing. Because you know it all. You remind me of children who know it all. You know, your parents they don't know what they're talking about. You know everything. Then when you get in trouble, you look stupid. See, this thing about the Nation of Islam, I've been talking about this for years. It's just a matter of time because Louis Farrakhan, Dr. Umar Johnson Sanetta, nobody lives forever. So it's a matter of time. But you don't care. You enjoy it while it lasts. Knowing it's going to fall. It's all going to come to an end. We're going to see what Nuri Muhammad do. We're going to see what Wesley Muhammad do. Brother BNX. All these folks, they talking all this stuff while Farrakhan is alive. Now, are you going to support Ishmael? They're not gonna support Ishmael because Ishmael don't know what to do. He don't know. He's just trying to copy Farrakhan. I watched some of his speech. He trying to talk like Farrakhan. And then he's repeating the same old story that Farrakhan had told 1,000 times. 1955, Elijah Muhammad was speaking. And Farrakhan said, that man don't know how to speak. But Elijah Muhammad, seemed like Elijah Muhammad was talking to him. Well, brother, put that in the fine language that you know. We done heard that story 1,000 times. Saying the same stuff, redundant stuff, all over the time. It's not the time and what must be done. It should be the time of what we have done. It should be the time of what we're doing. They don't know. I helped build that. Why would I want to see it fall? Even though I'm not there. But that's the destiny. That's how we think. We only embrace things for the short term, not for the long term. And with that said, I'm gonna pass the mic to Brother Talib so he can give his final thoughts and take us out of here.
Okay, thank you, brother, for letting me speak once again. I just want to add on to what the brother just got finished saying, that right now, as we look at the situation going on every day around America, where these Nation of Islam mosques and temples are located, and you see black on black crime constantly ticking up, and people, desperate, and living in poverty. And but they want to take what the next person got, and then this continuation with how crack cocaine has impacted black communities around the United States, especially where they got Nation of Islam temples and mosques at. And there has been no sign of change in these communities. You talk about every church that stand on the corner in the black community not doing nothing. But what has your presence in the black community done? Mm-hmm. No change anything. See? So, you got people running rampant, out of control, like gangs, like drug dealers, terrorizing the community. And you just stand back and don't say nothing or do nothing. And some of you brothers and sisters in the Nation of Islam live in them same communities. Next door to them drug dealers, next door to them gang members, across the street or across the hallway in an apartment building from these drug dealers and gang bangers. And your presence ain't making no type of real impact on change in the community. And let's not talk about what you did in the 1980s, when you was in the projects and y'all had that, what was that thing, brother, they had, that contract they had with the government?
Dope busters.
The
dope busters.
Yeah, the dope busters, yeah. Don't get to telling me nothing about the dope busters from back in the 1980s. What are you doing in that same manner right now in 2025 to help keep down crime in the black community that you so say you're willing to serve and protect? Okay, so We don't want to hear nothing about what went on in the 50s and 60s or the 1980s and 90s or even the early 2000s. We don't want to hear it because that's long gone and past. And even then, y'all failed by dropping the ball. You know? So my thing is that, you know, at this point in time, you know, it was just like Malcolm X said after he got away from Islam. He's willing to work with whoever's willing to work for him, no matter what even the color of the skin is. Long as people is willing to work with him and whoever they are, then he's willing to work with them. And that's the way, right now at this point, the way things are. Because it's like every man for himself. You gotta do what you gotta do to survive. You know? Because ain't nobody gonna have your best interest like you gonna have your best interest when it comes to self-preservation. You see? But at the same time, you talking about this is for the whole of the people, but I don't see no demonstration going on that's supposed to be for the whole of the people. All I still see is a bunch of rhetoric and talk, you know, and as far as when brother Angel Snuck 7 mentioned the thing they posted on the internet about that upcoming Savior's Day event for 2025, which just passed, when it said repent. I think it said pray and repent or something like that. That sounded like some straight out the playbook of Christian ideology. You see what I'm saying? And this is no knock to the Christians, but I'm just saying. That's why even Pharaoh said, you know, hey, the Nation of Islam are nothing but a bunch of Christians.
Yep.
You know, and so, you know, it's like at this point, you know, what are you really doing? What are you doing? I mean, hey, listen. The Christian church is out in the streets doing more than the Nation of Islam. Like these subpar organizations in the conscious community, like this group called New Era Detroit in my hometown in Detroit, Michigan. They out in the streets every day, feeding the people, trying to put people in housing, all kind of stuff. What incentive do the Nation of Islam have? All these, you know, black people that's homeless on the streets throughout America. You see, ain't y'all teachers supposed to be based on, you know, housing, clothing, and stuff like that? What they call the poor righteous fund or whatever that donation that they use to pimp people with, you know, the poor man's treasury or whatever they call it in the nation. Because I always hear Muhammad mention that, you know. But what are you doing with that money? That's supposed to be going to the poor, you know, treasury to help the poor. But going in the individual's pocket to help make him and his family richer. And see, I also want to point out something too. What Brother Angel Snuff said. When the nation, when Farrakhan died, and Ishmael Muhammad don't get the support he gonna need, how is he gonna be able to support himself and his family? Unless he's so locked in with the Farrakhan family that he already set for life. You know? Because I heard off and on through the years that The Farrakhan family and the family of Elijah Muhammad is supposed to be one. So, because through marriage and different stuff like that. So, I guess that's one way. Maybe that's how he gonna continue to survive. Him and his family is gonna be able to make it financially. But what about the other ones like Louis Muhammad, Wesley Muhammad? Are they gonna have to go on and find them a real 8-hour job? You see? So this is what I'm saying. I mean, what he going? And yeah, I saw Louis Muhammad. He had the big humble wheel limousines when I was in Indianapolis, Indiana years ago with this study group that I was processing through out of Lexington, Kentucky. And we had went to help them to hand out some flyers. That was back, I want to say, 2013. Because Farrakhan was supposed to have been speaking in town that following next month. And, me and the minister and the members of the study group and some brothers that came up from Louisville, Kentucky, from their study group there in Louisville, Kentucky, were, because it's supposed to be a part of that same region. So brothers, we all came up to Indianapolis and stuff. And then this guy, Louis Muhammad, was riding around in a Hummer limousine. Long stretch black Hummer limousine. I mean, it was decked out. I mean, and the brother had a business next door to the mosque where he was selling cakes and pastries and different stuff like that. But see, the thing is, when the Nation of Islam as a whole crumble, how is he going to still be able to maintain that? Because ain't nobody going to be listening to him like that. Because first of all, I'm going to have to say he should have been one of Farrakhan's best candidates to be a successor. Because of the way he speak. And because of how he articulate his words. But at the same time, they weren't preparing him or grooming him to be a successor. And so that's the same thing like with Wesley Muhammad. These are supposed to be some of his, brighter minds when you want to talk about preparing someone for future leadership of an organization. And so now they're going to just be fighting amongst each other, scrambling, seeing who's the best, who could take control or what. And then they turn into nothing but splinter groups like they did after Elijah Muhammad passed on. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, and it's going to be a big mess because you already got different other splinter groups outside of the Farrakhan camp. You see that I had mentioned earlier, previously in this live podcast. So, I mean, it's like, man, you know what? At the end of the day, man, we don't have nothing to fall back on as a people. We don't have nothing to fall back on. And at this point, and I know many of you who may be listening that do follow them teachings is going to feel a certain type of way when I say what I'm about to say. But you know what? Y'all might as well just rip all these books apart and different literature pieces and these teachings apart and just throw them in the trash can. Even though Farrakhan hasn't passed yet, but y'all might as well get ready to do that because it has no meaning to it. At least Elijah Muhammad made it seem like it had some kind of meaning to it under his leadership. But after Muhammad, change this whole thing around. I'm gonna tell you something. If anybody is gonna redeem the Nation of Islam to rebuild it in the way that it was under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, then it would be Muhammad Muhammad, and he's no longer around. You see, so that's null void because they left the leadership position in his hands when his father died. They ain't leaving in the hands of Farrakhan. Whether people agree with the ideal of that or not, the fact was the leadership of his father was left in his hands. You know? So, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, there's nothing tangible. And with that little bitty organization that, you know, the son of man, who goes by the name of Marvin Muhammad has in Mississippi, and a little few, you know, trinket, makeshift, you know, bases of followers he have in Detroit, in Chicago, and wherever else he have some followers at. It's very small, 3 times more compared to Farrakhan, you know, following in his organization. So, I mean, it really don't mean nothing. You know, and Eric Muhammad, you know, he always, you know, counter, you know, at people about saying he don't have nobody sitting in front of him when he be speaking. And I mean, okay, you have a bunch of people on the internet listening to you, whether it's YouTube or Facebook, but what are they doing to help support you on a massive scale? You complain about you don't get no support even from the local brothers and sisters down there in Atlanta, where you got your temple at. You see? So what? I mean, really, what is the Nation of Islam? It's just it's not even a relic of his past glory, as some would say. You know, so who really cares right now what the Nation of Islam, if the Nation of Islam even exists? Because to some people, the Nation of Islam right now at this point could be looked at as Marcus Garvey's UNIA organization is looked at, which is no longer existing, or which is considered defunct. You see? So this is what's going to come down to it. And those other people that call themselves leaders in the Nation of Islam, whether it be, you know, Salih Muhammad or Marvin Muhammad or whoever, they might as well get prepared for the passing of Farrakhan, because once he done, they definitely ain't gonna be relevant. Because just the fact he's alive is what kind of helped keep them relevant. Quiet as kept, whether people know it or not, you know. So it's like because of the fact that Farrakhan was always the most populist leader of the Nation of Islam since the death of Elijah Muhammad in 1975. See? So it's going to make a lot of difference when Farrakhan passed. When you want to talk about the whole totality of the Nation of Islam and the rest of its other subgroups that surround today. You know? And so, I mean, it's like, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, we're not even, we're nowhere near. And I also, too, want to point out, because the brother had mentioned something about, you know, which I had gave my 2 cents in a little earlier concerning Marvin Muhammad, about how Allah protected their properties and stuff from bad weather and tornadoes and floods and all this kind of stuff, right? Well, I heard Farrakhan saying something about down in Georgia some years ago where they had some type of big flood at somewhere in Georgia where he got land at, and he said that flood didn't touch nowhere, didn't come nowhere near touching his land in the way he basically put it. You know, that flood did not affect his land at all, but everything else around the area where his land is got flooded, but his land. And again, like I said about Marvin Muhammad, it's just because it wasn't their time for it to happen. You see? You know, so, you know, as far as putting a line in, you know, and all that, you know, you got to understand physics and science. You see? And then we could, you understand, have a real conversation when it comes to how the weather affects different regions and places on the earth, as well as in the country. You know, because it all deals with law and physics of science and all that, which is outside the realm of religion and divine protectionism and all that type of stuff, you see. So, I mean, it's like, this is the reason why I say that at the end of the day, we have nothing but our own selves to depend on. And I hate to sound like an individualist when I say this, because I'm not that type of person. But the fact of the matter is, we only got ourselves and our personal families if we got into to depend upon. Because we're not together anyway as a so-called group of people in this nation.
Right.
When you talk about as a whole, you see. So, I mean, it's like, you know, you got to go to wherever your help comes from. And that's where this situation has come to. And as far as, you know, like someone said, the fall of America happening, it's going to happen when it's going to happen. Like someone quoted from scriptures, because no man knows the hour. You see? And so, you know, just like you mentioned, Babylon, ancient Egypt, ancient Rome, those civilizations didn't know the hour until it happened, but it happened. Look, we had recent empires, superpowers, even when America was still a young growing nation after the Revolutionary and Civil Wars and all that. Like Great Britain and Germany, those were superpowers.
Right.
You see what happened to them. And those were in most recent times of history, modernly, during our grandparents' time. They even lived through witnessing that, like my grandparents did. They witnessed the fall of Germany during World War II under Hitler. You see what I'm saying? Because trust me, Hitler was on his way. The Germans were on their way of taking over the rest of the world during World War II until the United States intervened. Okay? Because had that not happened, we all probably be speaking German right now. That's why you say that you know your history. Well, I'm reminding you to go back and study your history of this planet and the events of this planet. You see, which will remind you that things always can repeat itself. But like I said, no one knows the hour. Anything is subject to happen. So I'm not gonna sit around here and wait and depend on America to fall. I'm gonna keep living, and I suggest that the same for everybody else. So just keep living your life, you know, because at the end of the day, you ain't, you know, you living, you know, if you living for a civilization to fall, then you just wasting your time anyway. Because it might not even happen until you 100 years dead and gone. You see?
Right.
So, I mean, it's like, you know, hey, you know, you wasting your time. And that's why I'm glad I was able to get up out of them more so-called pro-black conscious teachings. Because they had me blind the same way the teachings in the nation had Brother Angel Snup 7 blind.
Right.
You know? So, I mean, it's like, you know, you'd have been better off just going back to Christianity. Because them teachings only made you more ignorant. You know? And that's the bottom line to that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's like, you know, you became more dumbfounded, dumbed down, more full of illusions than ever. You know, and lastly, in my closing statement, I want to point out, you know, I had spoke to someone yesterday on my job, and I brought up something about how people so easily quick to forget the crack cocaine epidemic that destroyed us, and that's still impacting the lives of so many of so people throughout this country. And what the Nation of Islam has done is nothing even about that. They used to have, you know, what you call those places, detox centers, something that Malcolm X started when he was the minister of Temple 7 in New York, you know. And so, I mean, you know, it's like, you know, they don't even have detox centers, treatment centers. We have to go, if we want to get off the drugs, we got to depend on the white man's medication, Medicaid or insurance to get us into one of their rehab centers, you know, because you don't have nothing like that to offer. You see? And then in some cities, even like where I live, it take a long time to get in a rehab center because of a big waiting list. While you still out there killing yourself with them drugs, you see? So it's like you don't even have you know no alternative for none of that, but yet you always talk about, or you was always telling people to stop the violence, or having these songs saying stop the violent messages, but you had no alternative to back it up, you see. So with that said, you know, I just wanted to, you know, touch on that because that crack cocaine epidemic situation is still what even further destroyed us, or even its dignity or the integrity of a community that we even had left. That just blew that out the window. You know, now you got children don't even respect their parents, cussing their parents out and all kind of stuff. Something that I would have never ever dreamed of doing when I was a child. You see? Because I knew the consequences that would come behind that. But these children ain't got to worry about that. Because you got these white man laws in place where the parents can't even chastise them. You see? So what has the Nation of Islam done to counter that? See, that's what I'm talking about. Where's your FOI, young children FOI and MGT training that for that? Because evidently, I've heard even from previous talks we've had on other podcasts where, some of these young brothers and sisters walking around with these names with an X at the end of it, or with these Muslim names, ending up in jails and prisons every day. Shaquille, Shaquem, Rakim, Muhammad Sadiq, caught up in a robbery case, caught up in the sales and delivery drug case. You see what I'm saying? And more than likely, some of these children was raised in the Nation of Islam. You see what I'm saying? Now they're sitting in prison somewhere with a life sentence. If not dead, you see? So I mean, it's like, man, what do y'all have for that? What type of alternative do y'all have for that? And that's the point that I wanted to get straight down to. Straight through the chase and cut, And with that said, I'm going to regress, or rather digress, and pass the mic back on top of the Angel Snuff 7. And once again, thanks for letting me speak, and thanks for you, the audience in YouTube land and social media, for listening. And I would appreciate and thank to those of you who will be listening when this live podcast is ended and is posted on YouTube and Facebook. And with that, I'll pass.